Hello, MGTOW. Hello, men. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. So, I want to talk about working women on the weekends. And let me tell you what I'm talking about here. When I was younger, my father took me to Vegas one time. Actually, the whole family went. And he was a good father. And we were coming down in the elevators, getting ready to go down to the, floor. And it's just me and my father. And the elevator stops, and a very attractive younger woman steps on. But, she's an adult woman, okay? She looks like she might even be like a showgirl on her off time. And I guess me and my father stopped talking because I'm checking her out. My father's just, being cool. And the woman turns to him. She takes out a $5 bill, and she holds it out. And she says to my father, she says, "Excuse me, sir, can you change this $5 bill for a $20 bill, right?" That's what she says to him. And strikes me as very strange. But my father chuckles a little bit. He looks at her, he looks at me, and he says, "No, I'm sorry, I can't, but thank you very much." That's what he says. And she smiles politely. And then she gets off the elevator before we get down, to the gambling floor. And when she gets off the elevator, I look at my father and I scratch my head. I'm a young man. I'm only about, 16, 17. Still gambling, though. And I said, "What was that? What was that?" And, he chuckles and he says, "Well," that was a working girl." And I think to myself, well, hey, we all got to work, right? So I'm saying, yeah, aren't we all? Still, what was that? He chuckles again and he says, "That was a lady of the night." And I think to myself, "Oh, come on, Dad, she wasn't a vampire. I mean, vampires aren't real." So I'm still scratching my head, looking at him sideways. Finally, he looks at me and he says, "She was a call girl, okay? She was a prostitute. She was a hooker." And I think, oh, okay, that's what it means. That's why, okay, she was looking for, to exchange a 5 for a 20. Okay, I understand. So we moved on. Now, that's not really the kind of working girl I'm talking about here, but I thought it was a funny story. So I'm talking about just regular working girls. 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. And the weekend comes along, and what do these working girls want to do? Well, they certainly don't want to continue doing what they've been doing all week long, which is working, right? And that's working for someone else. So if you guys will think back, I don't know, about 15 years ago when men were treated, like first-class citizens, like complete citizens, you'll remember that you too would look forward to the weekends because you had worked all week long doing something that, you probably weren't really happy doing. And even if you were happy doing it, by the time, the weekend came along, you were sick and tired of it and you just wanted to do anything else. So you wanted to have a good time, remember? Yeah, see, you don't even remember. I barely remember. You wanted to have a good time. You wanted to feel good. You wanted to forget your worries. You wanted to party, essentially, no doubt about it. But what does the working woman want to do? Now, some of these things, she's going to want to do them as well, right? She's not going to want to take orders from anybody. She's probably going to want to, feel good. I'll just put it that way. She's probably going to want to take it easy. But here's the thing. Her expectation as to what's going to happen on a weekend is vastly different from what a man's expectation is as to what's going to happen on the weekend. Because, well, here's the thing, okay, is that the woman wants to be taken care of. She wants to be shown a good time. She wants to go someplace and to be sought after and to be admired and to be chased after and to be taken care of. Whereas a normal, healthy man has no such expectation. You know what I mean? That it's absurd, right? But look what's happening in this day and age, how the men are adopting the female behaviors, like they want to do the same things that the women want to do. And they don't realize that, no, we're really not the same. You know what I mean? You can have we're biologically, we are vastly different, The sexes are very, very different. And it's a good thing. And it leads to this different kind of mindset. And what's happening is you're seeing this female mindset being adapted by men. And it's disgusting. It's like, oh my God, how do you work with a guy, that wants to be taken care of, right? And if you don't take care of, if you don't show the guy a good time, right, he starts negging you. You know what I mean? He starts giving you negative compliments and bullshit like that. And it's like, what the hell is going on here? So now you're interacting with a guy and he's completely behaving like a woman. I get this in my comments section, And it's like the guy is getting increasingly pissed and I'm just getting increasingly amused and I'm taunting him, So this is one of the negative sides of this idea that men and women are equal. Now, here's the thing. The working woman, when it comes to the weekend, and I say she wants to stop working, she doesn't really want to stop working. I mean, I think you guys know what I'm getting at. She's essentially wanting to use her sexuality to gain favors, okay? That's what her game is on the weekend, right? I think you guys are some of you are starting to see where I'm going with this. So she's going to revert back to a kind of basic female behavior that she feels she may or may not be able to get away with in the office or at the workplace. And it's hypergamous behavior. It's whorish behavior. She's going to be an amateur whore for the weekend. So good news, right, for some of you guys out there. Now, what you're going to need to do if you want to get together with these types of whores is you're going to need to exchange the $5 bill that she's carrying around all the time for the $20 bill, which is what you as a man can earn. But in order to do this, you have to actually be a man, and you actually have to treat her like a woman, which is completely opposite of, what they're saying they want throughout the work week. So, you're really out there on a very, very thin line dealing with a woman who's trying to have a good time on the weekend because she's playing the whore. That's what she's doing. And if you don't play it right, it's going to blow up in your face. I mean, she wants to play out that whole script. You know what I mean? Yeah, she wants to get laid and she wants to be taken care of. And she wants to be paid as well. But if the man messes it up at any one of the stages, it's going to blow up in his face. And see, chances are he's not going to understand what's really going on. So it's going to blow up in his face. So just be aware of this, men. When you're dealing with women on the weekends and you think that, this is, a regular working girl, it's like, yeah, not really. You're going to need to be really careful in that situation. And what you're going to find is that she's going to start using a negative attack on you. Like if you've got a date, okay, she's going to be like, where are you taking me? And it better be a nice place, She's going to be like throwing out little insults at you and things like that. This is the tactic of a whore, of an ingrate, of a socialist, of someone who wants to be taken care of. And, the way to deal with it is to basically, just kind of fucking ignore it and to smile at it and to maybe mock it a little bit, kind of like the way I treat Black Lives Matters people in my comments section. Isn't it interesting that with the election, and Trump's ascendancy to the presidency, that's got a nice ring to it. It rolls right off the tongue. Ascendancy to the presidency. Isn't it interesting how the normal tactics of the left, their slanderous bullshit, their race baiting, they're calling people, sexist and Islamophobes and homophobes. Isn't it interesting how it's dulled? It's not working nearly as, as well. And I hope that the mainstream media has been exposed to you guys as just a bunch of whores, because they're just a bunch of fucking lying whores. I'm sorry, but that's the appropriate, English language word to use when describing how the press has behaved. Might there be people within the, the community that have journalistic integrity? Hell, just integrity? Sure. Might these people have integrity outside of the workplace? Absolutely. Maybe I'm being naive, like that young man in the elevator, because it's a pay-for-play system, right? The press isn't going to give you positive stories unless you're paying them or they can control you. So they don't like somebody like Trump. They don't like an honest man. And when you're dealing with people, you need to understand that that's who you're dealing with. You're dealing with a bunch of gossiping liars. And when you're dealing with women, you are dealing with a bunch of gossiping, lying whores that want to have some fun, and you're the mark. And if you forget that, you're going to walk straight into danger. You're going to be in a lot of trouble, right? So this kind of advice of, play the game, and you're doing this, you're dealing with the instincts of something, a woman. You're dealing with the instincts of a woman. And as a man, you're not even going to be relying on your instincts too much. If you're an intelligent, smart man, okay, you're actually saying to yourself, you've got two messages going on in your head the whole time. You've got your instincts, which are saying, go for it, do it, that just wants all this sort of validation and shit. And then you've got this intelligent part within you that's saying, this could go wrong. This might lead me into a situation that I won't be able to get out of. I might be writing some checks that my body can't even cash, or that my life cannot cash. And in the earlier stages of life, the person who's operating on their instincts is going to have the advantage. Women have the advantage over men, okay? The man is stuck having to think things through, plan things out, be responsible for things down the road, unable to use emotional manipulation to control other people, And that's the one that really gets me when I'm dealing with someone, a man or a woman, and they start up with their emotional manipulation. And it's as subtle as things like them whining and crying and moaning and groaning, like you say to them, it's time to do a little bit of work. And they start moaning, and they start making all these noises and stuff. And it's like, oh, so you want us to feel sorry for you now, right? And this is how they get by. This is how they interact with people. They don't do half of the job and then want half of the pay. No. Before it even starts, they're complaining, they're whining, they're moaning, they're finding fault, they're looking for excuses. Nothing gets done with them. You try to work with them, they come up with 1,000 excuses. You find out that it's more work dealing with them than it is if you were to just do the job completely by yourself. Somehow I went off topic here a little bit. But still, watch out for the working women on the weekends, because what they want to do is they want to revert back to their instincts, which is a hypergamous, whorish bit of behavior. And you, as a man in the modern world, trying to get ahead and at the same time trying to feel good, trying to have a good time, you're at a huge disadvantage, So keep that in mind. And also remember, you're not equals. Not at all, right? She can get pregnant in the blink of an eye. She can tell a single lie and 10 guys will, jump on you and beat the shit out of you. So keep that in mind when you're dealing with working women on the weekends. So I'm going to leave it at that for now. There's a lot more to it. But let me know what you think about this in the comments section below. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and donate. And join me again, Howard Dare, as I plan to have more content for you. Thank you, MGTOW.